Tottenham Hotspur won. Okay, let's move away from that, and we're still in England. Arsenal will face Crystal Palace today in a Carabao Cup. We saw Fulham against Nottingham Forest yesterday, which ended in a 1-0 win for the London side. But tonight, Arsenal Crystal Palace.
I'll stick on the Fulham Nottingham Forest. I did say this is one thing I say about inconsistency that they'll be getting under the new manager. I did say he's probably not going to do more than Nuno has done. You know, in my opinion, he probably give the top teams run for their money, and then when he plays the mid-table teams, they get to beat him, and that is what we experienced yesterday against Fulham. So moving on to Arsenal, I think a lot of fans would expect Arsenal to win. You know, including myself. Surprisingly to you, I guess. Crystal Palace have been given lots of things run for their money. They've been giving Liverpool a very tough time. They've been giving maybe Chelsea too, I think, tough time, beating Manchester United.
The recent games, they've not been so convincing.
Because they've been playing too many matches. This December alone, I think they played up to 6 matches or so. That is beginning to tell. They are beginning to see to rotate more now. You know, for a team of Crystal Palace, I don't think they have the size. These teams they have a decent first 11, and then probably 1 or 2 on the bench that could come on. But if it's beginning to look like they're having too many matches to play, then it is what it is. Fatigue will begin to set in. The coach will be forced to having to rotate players and all. So going to the Emirates is not something that they would want at this point in time, especially knowing the fact that I think Arsenal beat them 3-2 in the quarterfinals last season, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not going to be an easy one for Crystal Palace. And I think Arsenal, on the other hand, yes, they're having a tough time recently too, with battling lots of injuries, and some of the injured players are beginning to come back. Who knows who Arteta would want to start with this time? I'm thinking he would want to give some of those players that are just coming back from injury a run, you know, and he might not, depending on how much it takes this tournament. If he decides that he wants to win it, then after he's going to be feeling a very strong lineup. But regardless, I think Arteta doesn't like to lose at home. I think he wants to make Emirates a fortress for a lot of things when they come. So it doesn't matter the competition, it doesn't matter who they play. He has always been showing that he wants to meet Emirates Lions Den for anyone that wants to come. So I think they are going to beat Crystal Palace.
Okay, so of course, it will be interesting to see the approach. Does it really value Carabao Cup? The approach, like rightly said. But it's at this point that coaches really gamble. Because if you field a weak side or a weaker side and you lose, fans won't be happy. But you have to protect the players too. And at times you have to choose. You have to prioritize a tournament. Some coaches rather prioritize the Champions or the league, which are quite bigger than the Carabao Cup. And if you field a very strong side and one of them gets injured, you also get the rap. Why did you start? It's against Crystal Palace. It's AFL Cup, which is third in the rankings when it comes to competitions in the Premier.
Regardless, Moses, for Arsenal, they need trophies. They need trophies. And if Arteta was to think about this well and be on the safe side this season, because this is a season that a lot of people, including Arsenal fans, will probably have a go at Arteta if he doesn't win something at the end of the season. So I think one of these cups, I think they're out of the FA Cup if I'm not mistaken. So if he tries to win this first, which is not going to be easy because we still have Chelsea, we still have Man City in the cup run now, but it's quarterfinals. If he beats them and move on to the next round, then he stands a chance of winning. If he's able to win this cup now, Carabao Cup, and then probably get the league, which I don't think will be possible for them, or the Champions League, either getting 2 of these 3 will be an incredible season for Arsenal. If he can't get the 2, if he can at least get the Carabao Cup and say, have a good run in the Champions League, maybe hold on now, Moses, hold on. I'm telling you why this guy has kept his job for the past 6 seasons now. Arsenal fans are so lenient. They love the club so much that they don't have a goal
But okay,
they are so patient. Maybe
not any longer.
Arteta is having the safest job in the world.
Not any longer.
Not any longer. You are not a fan.
Wait, of course, I have some big boys. I know Arsenal fans, right? They started the league like he has on fire, right? And so he has raised their hopes. So imagine now ending the season with a Carabao Cup, and just like
imagine ending it with nothing.
Just like Van Gaal won the FA Cup and he was still sacked. Imagine a Real Madrid, just winning Copa del Rey. You think they will be comfortable? If they lose out winning the Champions League, if they lose out winning the La Liga, no, they won't be comfortable. And I think it's the same situation as is actually in right now. Carabao Cup is never enough this season. If they end up winning just Carabao Cup, now it's still a very bad season for them because they had it all in control. Yes, we know they are leading by 2 points and all of that. The fans still believe they have what it takes. They have the squad depth. In a very long time, we are seeing this Arsenal and looks like yes, they are quite strong. In the Champions League right now, we even see them. They even defeated Bayern Munich, one of the best sides we've seen so far.
They defeated PSG last season.
And they defeated PSG
and when they needed to put them in the knockout,
I think Carabao Cup is not enough. Is definitely not enough. That's what I think.
I feel average is better than not.
Anything except winning, apart from winning the league.
Champions League. Do you think
I'm not even looking at Champions League. I'm not even looking at Champions League. I just believe you may not get sacked. You may not get sacked, but fans will be gutted by that. I mean, because this is like the best chance in years. The best chance they're having at winning the league. Other teams didn't start.
I think last year was the best.
The gap has reduced somewhat. But when you look at score depth, they can face Arsenal against Manchester City. You can't beat your chest and say right now Manchester City would win.
Right now?
Yeah, you can't beat your chest.
They will win. Right now. If you're talking about right now, yes.
I would say they won't.
Do you know why I think they would win? People underestimate the importance of that central back duo of Saliba and Gabriel. I think they are arguably the best pair in the world, not even in Europe alone. That's what I think. If those two are playing with each other in a very good form, I don't think any defender is better than them. These two can keep clean sheets against anything. You don't get to say these things often. We've seen peers in back in the days, and they still conceded. If you are going to be incredible as a central back player, clean sheets is one of the things that people will use to reach you. And this guy gets clean sheets for fun. Immediately they are out of the picture. Immediately one of them was out of the picture. After I considered, Gabriel, I think, is looking like the one that is a bit more important now, in my opinion, than Saliba. So this is the guy that they are missing now, and it's beginning to show. This whole they now have backups. The team now have new players to come in and all of that. Yes, they have, but how many of these players are first 11 candidates? Some of them will still not be first 11 if not for injuries. So if you bring your backup, if your backups are playing too many matches, then you are not the other team you are not the former team that you used to be. This is not the same Arsenal that started the season that was beating almost everyone.
Okay.
So whether you like it or not, injuries will fall in a team. If it's getting too much, like 4, 5, whether you like it or not, it will begin to show. And it will go down to how
they will still meet this season, and let's see how that goes when they meet. Well, anyway, time is fast spent. Let's quickly look at the papers. Okay, we have one paper here, and that's the Punch Sport Extra, and we have minor headlines scattered all over the front page, and this says Murphy on Wolves radar. Udinese coach defends Okoye. I think Okoye was shown red the last game. Osimhen Lukman eye AFCON glory. Tanzania coach vows to clip Eagles' wings. Well, that's
I wonder how you intend to do that.
Okay, let's say it does that. Well, fingers crossed. And Lyon reached agreement over Hendrick. Hendrick has not been playing regularly at Real Madrid.
And I think it was you and I that was in the studio the day that I told you that I don't know what these South American guys are running to Madrid to do, because if you are not in the Galacticos standard, you probably won't get in the team. So it is a dream for a
player for the future.
So the player for the very young. It doesn't matter if you are not getting the opportunity. to build that future, you probably won't get there.
Okay,
so you need playing time. This is a move. That was what I said about Rodrigo too. If you're not getting playing time, try get it elsewhere. You can be the best. You can get known in the world from anything now. A lot of people are watching different things now.
You also want to fight. You also want to fight for your shirt. You're in the arguably the best club in the world, and you living there, you're going down. I mean, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Back in those days, so people look at these things and then they don't rate every other thing. You know, as time is going now, we are seeing new things emerge. We are seeing players from different teams, you know, make it to the top of the log in players' rating set. You know, so I think they can build their career elsewhere. It doesn't have to be Madrid. You can go build it somewhere, and Madrid will still come and say they want you.
But Rodrigo has been getting some minutes. He has been getting some minutes in recent times. Well, really saying this, Liverpool still in title race. I don't know what one is talking about. Still Liverpool in title race. No, he has lambasted in recent times during that poor run. He questioned the leadership of Van Dijk, and Van Dijk responded that he's not in his shoes. So when he's saying again that they are still in the title race with that gap, well, I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think what is certain is not certain. What is likely is probably they getting into the top four. Maybe they can secure the top four, but if they are going to be in the title race again, they will need a lot of.
And top four is another competition entirely. You would say, no, Arsenal will get there, either first or second. Manchester City, surely. Then Aston Villa has been doing so well. They are third of the league now.
Yes, just 3 points. They are doing well. I don't get carried away.
But do they have that same power?
Exactly.
So they have that same power.
Things like this.
Then Newcastle, I think they are not been so convincing at this season.
I think they're focusing more on Europe. I don't know what they want to get out of there.
Tottenham too, they blew hot and cold, so not so convincing. Same with Chelsea. So why not? I think Liverpool can make the top four.
Yeah,
and maybe with Chelsea too, because we know the stuff. I don't know. At times they play so well, and at times they play
inconsistency. But the level of inconsistency is not that bad that they won't get top four. You know, and I don't think it's that bad. It's just not enough to get them to be title contender. But
yes, the coach Maresca believes the form is down to the youngness of the players. We know that young players at times could be quite inconsistent, and he's asking the board that he wants mature players. He wants highly experienced players in the squad.
But let's see, in as much as I like the Chelsea project, what they want to do is get the best players. Best young players all over the world, you know, into the front. But then you need leadership. Recently, we heard that Thiago Silva was leaving his team in Brazil. And I was hoping that why didn't Chelsea just give him a loan move of maybe 6 months?
Maybe when we talk about having experience or mature players, it will not be in the realm of Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva is over 40 now.
What I'm saying is, he doesn't even
and he left Chelsea. He doesn't have to get the Brazilian side.
John Terry addressed this same issue, and he said, let it be like his last season at Chelsea. Chelsea won the league, and he really play in that season. But the dressing room was so key, you know, building the courage of the players, you know, motivating them and all of that. These things go a long way, especially the central defenders in the team will gain a lot of experience with playing, even training with Thiago Silva. But then I agree with you that is not what they need. They need players that will be on the pitch around, let's say, 26, 27 of a very high.
The motivation, that's the job of the coach. So you wouldn't want to bring another player.
Leaders in the team can do that.
It's better when they are playing regularly. To do that. But you are dependent players and you are not on the pitch. They'll be like, but you're on the bench, so what motivation are you talking about? I feel it doesn't work every time. At times it works, at times it doesn't work. We're talking about someone that wants to return. Maybe, I don't know, Alves. We also recommend that to Chelsea. Alves said to return at the age of 42.
Alves should probably go to the US or maybe.
No, he's heading to Portuguese third-tier side, France João de Var. You know, well, it seems so. I mean, I don't know. America, at the age of 42, is someone that I think he played last in January 2023, and you think competitive league. Of course, America is also competitive, but they may not want to put their money on, Alves now at the 42. Well, you are not, when it's not Ronaldo. Well, thank you so much, Akimobe. Well, we've come to the end of today's program. I'll be back tomorrow for the midweek, where we'll talk a lot about the Nigerian game, which will hold today at 6:30 p.m. So we bring you pictures, interviews, and of course, tight analysis regarding that game, and of course other games too. We'll be spending like 30 minutes just on AFCON, because this is like the biggest, one of the biggest, sports events in Africa, and arguably the biggest, because we do love AFCON. Well, as far as today's edition is concerned, I will say bye-bye on the show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
And good luck to the